Hey all you fly tying fanatics, this is John Wood and I'm coming to you from East Rosebud Fly and Tackle in Billings, Montana. As you can see behind me, this is a fly tyer's paradise here and the rockinest fly shop in the country. I've been told the universe, but I haven't quantified that for sure yet. We'll get back to you later on that one. Anyway, today we're going to talk about dubbing twisters and specifically a new one. And I'm just going to show you that name and not even try to pronounce it. It's from a Danish company and they're making some super high quality tools. And this thing is quite a bit different from other dubbing twisters. So basically there have been three different types of dubbing twisters. Your shepherd's hook style, which is this one right here, and Dr. Slick kind of fixed the main problem with it, which was the loop was too small, but it still didn't do anything about the fact that you've got to put your finger in between your loop to open it up, to put dubbing in there, and it's constantly dropping dubbing. Then we've got this style, which has got a little Y and it's got 2 feet. You loop the thread through here and then loop it over and put it through there. And then you've got this tiny little narrow gap. Still not optimal. And then we've got the spring type, which is really good if you want to put dubbing on one side of the thread and then make your loop and then twist it. But you've got to pinch that in to get it started for it to be really effective. So that's where this little baby comes in. One of the great things about this is most dubbing hooks, especially like the shepherd's hook, you just go over the thread and you see that leaves a gap right there. And so if you do end up working right down close to your tool, your dubbing is not going to stay in there securely. But this is unique because we're going to, starting with the loop over the finger, we're going to open up the spring clamp, put the thread in between, close it slightly so it's narrower than the width of my finger, and then just slide that down on there. So now I've got a loop over the dubbing twister, over the hook, and as you can see there's absolutely no gap between the two pieces of thread in the loop. And when you take that to wrap around the hook, once you built your dubbing loop, as you can see this little kick right here on the end, that's going to keep your thread from sliding off, so you never have to worry about losing your dubbing loop and then having to grab it with a pair of hackle pliers. With a spiky type dubbing like your Scud Sow Bug or like this Arizona Semi Seal, I really like the way this Smhaen operates. It makes it much easier to get it in there, get it in the loop without losing the dubbing that you've already put in place. So I've already got my dubbing laid out in small clumps. I'm just gonna get my thread on the twister. I want to check and make sure I don't have a twist. I've got one little twist up top. There we go. And then all you have to do, just like any other dubbing twister, is put your dubbing in there and slide it up. The cool thing about it is when I go to get my next clump of dubbing, I can let that clamp shut so everything stays in place. Get my next one, slide it up in place, and as you work your way down, rather than opening the clamp all the way, you can open it slightly less, and that allows this dubbing to stay in place. We'll just build that. Keep sliding that up to where we want it. And one of my favorite flies, especially on the bighorn, is a sow bug. And this is a fly that I've tied a lot, but with other dubbing twisters it took a little more time. trim the sides, and you have got the quickest sow bug you've ever seen. Now here's a way to, a slightly different way than you've seen before, how to tie something like a Griffith gnat, where you've got a core and a hackle over it. I want to measure to make sure my loop is not longer than my peacock herl. Set the loop, get my thread out of the way, clip, get the thread inside the spring clip, loop it over the top. Now I'm just going to bring my peacock herl down, gently open that up, catch the peacock in there, and then just give it a quick turn, not a whole lot. And then we bring the hackle down, and by spinning that peacock in there, that locks it in place. And then we put our hackle in there, spin it. You can see what it's doing there at the bottom. Then when I let it go all the way up, that's a beautiful hackle. And then you just use your rotary feature. Spin that up. Obviously that's not a beautiful fly. I didn't size any of this stuff up. I'm just showing you how this tool operates. Another technique is to put dry fly dubbing under a hackle, and I'm going to do this one with two colors of dubbing so that you can see how that shows through. Get all the twists out of that from where I let it go. And then slide that up on there. Now I'm going to open that up. First I'm going to put a light colored dubbing on there. Just a little bit. Put it on down here. Slide it up in place. Get just a little more of that. Let's pull it back down. Got that right on there. Slide that up. Now I'm going to put a darker dubbing, and you'll be able to see the transition. Now, I just wanted to give you guys some ideas of different things that you can do with this. Having that basically a hackle plier right on your dubbing twister just opens up a ton of possibilities. And these are just some of the things that you can do with this new dubbing twister. Really, your imagination is the only limit to what you can do with this. Pull that hackle down there, clamp it in, make sure they're both snug, and then just give this a spin. And you can see how beautifully that hackle spirals in there and gets very evenly spaced. And you can see the transition here along the thread between the light and the dark dubbing. Now this would be a very quick and easy way to create a bivisible type fly, because that undercolor changes the appearance of even the hackle. Get that on there. I'm going to clip this, and I let that unwind by holding it and just letting that unwind itself. If I can remember which way I went there. There we go. Now all I've got to do is release my thread. Get my bodkin. This is not working quite as simply as it did when I did it before. There we go. And just slide that thread out of there. There we go. And I've not used up all that excess hackle. And I can use that again in this twister, and even though it's been twisted, it will work just fine on the next fly also.